वो इतना सारा लगता है नहीं उतना, डोंट वरी, तू चुप रहे. Acha. Now talking about cooperative society and multi-state cooperative society. Cooperative society also is nothing but a statutory audit, because when we people had done in chapter number 1 the different types of audit, in that statutory, voluntary, statutory had an example of cooperative society. So can I say cooperative society also has to do the audit of their financial statements? Agreed. Acha. Now, cooperative societies will be audited as per nothing but Cooperative Societies Act 1912. Multi-state cooperative society will be audited as per Multi-State Cooperative Societies Act 2002. Now, what is the difference between cooperative society and multi-state cooperative society? Multi-state. So ultimately, when I say multi-state, what do you mean by that? It is that that cooperative society does not have presence in one state. That cooperative society has presence in more than one state. When you have presence in more than one state, that becomes a multi-state cooperative society. Now, most important in this too is to know the qualifications. Although there are other things also that we will see. But the most important, if you ask me, is what? Is qualifications. Now, firstly, talking about the qualifications of a cooperative society auditor. Can you tell me what should be the qualification? Correct. Can I say chartered accountant? Chartered accountant? Practicing. Agreed? Okay. But it is not only a chartered accountant. That is the important part. Here, the qualification of an auditor of a cooperative society is not limited to a person being a chartered accountant. You can have other qualifications also. Example, having a diploma in cooperative accounts or worked in the government in the cooperative department. If you are holding a diploma in cooperative accounts, then also you are qualified to do audit of a cooperative society. Or if you have worked in the government in a cooperative department, then also you are qualified to do audit of a cooperative society. The auditor of a cooperative society always has to be a chartered accountant. Incorrect. I hope guys, it is not only a chartered accountant, it is anything more than that also. What is others? Anybody holding a diploma in cooperative accounts or anybody worked in the government in the cooperative department. If you are either of these, then can you be appointed as auditor of a cooperative society? Yes. This is most important. Secondly, what is the qualification of an auditor of a multi-state cooperative society? Here it is only a chartered accountant. It means here there is nobody else. Multi-state cooperative society, they have told the one who is a practicing chartered accountant or a firm of chartered accountants, only they can do audit of a multi-state cooperative society. So is there a difference between the qualifications of both? Yes. Cooperative society, only a chartered accountant. No. A chartered accountant or anybody who's holding a diploma in cooperative accounts or anybody who has worked under the government in a cooperative department. Acha, multi-state cooperative society also same. No. Then correct. I hope there is only a chartered accountant who is qualified. All cool? Acha. Now, obviously there are other points also, but the main point was qualifications. By the way, who appoints the auditor of a cooperative society? The auditor of a cooperative society is appointed by Registrar of Cooperative Society, ROCS. So ultimately, who appoints? ROCS. Now, ROCS will appoint the auditor of a cooperative society, and supposing say I am that auditor, then I will have to report, no? Who will I report to? I will report to two. One, to the members of the society and to the ROCS. So if I am the auditor, then I will have to give the report to the ROCS as well as to the members. All cool? Then obviously there are certain other points also which we people basically have to check. Although the main points I'm telling, whatever they are, the other points include that a cooperative society eventually can give loans to nothing but the members of the cooperative society, not to anybody else. But if they want to give loan to anybody else, they will have to take the approval of the ROCS. Only if the ROCS gives the approval, then they can give the loan to the other society as well. Similarly, borrowings, they should normally take borrowings only from the members. However, ultimately, if at all they want to give borrowings to others, then again, they will have to take the permission of nothing but the ROCS. Thereafter, cooperative society, they will have a managing committee, just like I hope as many of you might be staying in cooperative societies. So ultimately, when I talk about cooperative societies, they have nothing but managing committee. Then there are bylaws of the cooperative society. So ultimately, the managing committee have to follow the bylaws. If the bylaws and the laws and regulations are not followed, then can I say auditor will have to report that such bylaws are basically not followed. Acha. Similarly, I hope as a cooperative society may give loan to anybody. Now, if the cooperative loan, members, no, I told you loans are given to members basically. If you want to give to some other, then you'll have to take permission of the ROCS. If you give loan, then obviously you'll have to recover also. But supposing that loan is not recovered, say 5 years have gone by, still it is not recovered, then can I say it is overdue for more than 5 years? Then ultimately, if it is overdue for more than 5 years, that has to be disclosed separately. Thereafter, can I say, if at all you had given loan, there will be some interest, but if at all that loan only has not come, interest also had not come, so can I say there is overdue interest also? So that overdue interest also has to be disclosed separately. You understand what I'm telling? So these are nothing but certain functioning of what? Cooperative society. Let us go one by one. Come, textbook, page number, I don't know. Yeah, I'll have to find. Oh my god, must come here. Point 9, audit of a cooperative society. Page number 403 as per reliable sources. Oh, 405 here. They're not reliable anymore. 403 only, no? Okay, come. Now, firstly, this part. This is important. This comes in the examination for 2 marks. Up till now, they have never asked you full-fledged question on audit of a cooperative society. They have only asked qualifications of an auditor of a cooperative society. And that is actually which is to be asked also, which is more important. See, apart from a chartered accountant, so obviously chartered accountant is so definitely qualified. Achha. Apart from a chartered accountant within the meaning of CA Act 1949, some of the state cooperative acts have permitted persons holding a government diploma in cooperative accounts or in corporation and accountancy, and also a person who has served as an auditor in the cooperative department of a government to act as an auditor. Obviously, when I say auditor, auditor of what? Auditor of cooperative society. So be careful. Huh? Only here, the qualification is something which is different, and only in internal auditor, it was different. This two don't require chartered accountants. Cost audit obviously different. Cost audit was obviously cost accountant, no? Cost audit we had done in company audit, cost accountant or firm of cost accountants. So ultimately, in cost audit, cost accountants, internal auditor, no specific, auditor of a cooperative society, correct. Apart from a chartered accountant, somebody else. So ultimately, I hope a chartered accountant is not only the requirement for these three. Which three? I again repeat. One, cost audit. Second, internal audit. And lastly, cooperative society audit. These three. Chartered accountant is not the only criteria. In fact, in the first, chartered accountant is not a criteria at all. In the second one, chartered accountant is a criteria, whether you hold a COP or whether you don't hold a COP. Here also, chartered accountant can be appointed, but not restricted only to chartered accountancy. All cool? Okay, next see. The auditor of a cooperative society is appointed by the registrar of cooperative society, ROCS, and the auditor so appointed conducts the audit on behalf of the registrar and submits the report to him. Him is whom? ROCS, and also to the society. You have to give it to the members also, no? The audit fees are paid by the society on the basis of statutory scale. That is okay. Audit fees have to be paid as per law. Now, can I say obviously they have to maintain books of accounts also. So ultimately, auditor will check whether according to the act, the books of accounts are maintained or not. That's it. Then see, restriction on the shareholding. Ultimately, I hope realize if at all I'm a member, then I have shareholding, but shareholding is restricted. Restricted to what? See, I've underlined. It is maximum of 20% of the total number of shares, or the value of the shareholding should be 1000. So can I say it is basically 20% of the total or rupees 1000 maximum? You cannot have more than this. All cool? Whichever is higher basically. This all they don't ask, but since these are points, ultimately we are just brushing it up. Thereafter, see, we have restriction on loans. See, a registered society shall not make a loan to a person other than member. However, a special sanction of the registrar, a registered society can make a loan to another registered society. Yeah. Thereafter, restriction on borrowings. A registered society shall accept the loans and deposits from the person who are not members, subject to the restrictions and the limits of the bylaws. And obviously, the auditor will have to inspect bylaws in this respect. Bylaws are laws and regulations that the society has to follow, in simple words. Yeah. Acha, can I say obviously every month we people pay maintenance to the society? Now, when we people pay maintenance, can I say obviously they get funds? When they get funds, can I say that funds should not be kept idle? It should be invested. Then where should they invest the funds? That is what is given. They should invest the funds in any one or of the following: in central or state cooperative banks. Most of the cooperative societies, they always keep their funds in fixed deposits in cooperative banks. Thereafter, any securities which are specified in Section 20 of the Indian Trust Act 1882. Now, simple examples there were any government issued bonds, any government issued debentures, any government issued securities, whichever are there. So ultimately, you can keep it there because ultimately it is risk free. No, that's why. Yeah. Then shares, securities, bonds, or debentures of any other society with limited liability in any cooperative bank other than central or state cooperative bank approved by the registrar. And lastly, in any other monies which are told by the central or the state government. Okay. Now, ultimately, can I say whenever they collect the funds, can I say some funds should be kept aside for emergency purposes? So ultimately, I hope as they'll have to reserve some money. No, they should not invest every money. No, then ultimately that is known as reserve fund. So ultimately, you will have to keep some money in the reserve fund. How much? It's a prescribed percentage which should be transferred to reserve fund before distributing any dividends or bonus to the members. How much is a percentage? Minimum one fourth. In other words, 25%. So ultimately, supposing say you people have net profit, then at least 25% should go to reserve fund. Then ultimately, I hope as you will get the balanced net profit. You understand what I'm telling? Okay. Like CRR only. No, no, it keeps on changing. If there is notification, then it comes. Yeah, yeah. The only thing is you don't have to write the percentage. You just have to write prescribed percentage because that prescription keeps on amending, no, every time. Yeah. Thereafter, once you have transferred something to the reserve fund now, you have to give certain fund for charitable purposes. Now, how much fund to be given for charitable purposes? Maximum 10%. Max 10%. Can it be lesser? Yes. But can it be more than that? No. So ultimately, I hope realize from this less maximum 10% for charitable, and then you will get again the balanced net profit. Society can basically earn profit by investing, no? They will invest the money, no? After all, after you invest the money, then whatever returns you get, that is ultimately profit only, no? What else is it? Hmm. From that money only, then you will do expense and income, no? You collected 10,000 from me, you expended only 4,000, then 6,000 is what? Money remaining, no? That money you will invest, no? Once you invest, you will get a return, no? That return after all is profit remaining, no? Hmm. Now they have told max 10, yeah. What will I do? You cannot give away everything, no? They are at least giving 10, no? Ah, fair enough. Then see, special features of cooperative societies audit, examination of overdue debts. See, this is what I was telling you, that basically if it is more than 5 years, you have to report it separately. Then if it is from 6 months to 5 years, that is separate. So read this overdue debts. Manageable. So ultimately, can I say it will be from 6 months to 5 years and it will be greater than 5 years. Whatever are your debts will get classified into two categories. Just like there is overdue debts, there is overdue interest. This practical point you cancel. This is not required. That is accountancy point. Can I say that overdue has to be shown separately? It should not be shown with the interest, which is normal income. It is because ultimately it is overdue, na? So should show it as a separate line item. So in the P&L, there'll be by interest income, which is normal, not on overdue debts. And next will be ultimately the interest, which is on overdue debts. Next, classification of bad debts. The best is that only the auditor can classify certain debts as bad debts. The society cannot do on their own. So ultimately, only if the auditor tells that this loan will not come back, only then it will be classified or certified as bad debts. Else it will not be. Read. Come on, you're manageable. Okay. Thereafter, valuation of the assets and liability should be done properly as per the accounting FRF. What else? There has to be followance of the cooperative principles, whichever are there. Thereafter, you have to observe whether all the provisions of the acts and the bylaws are followed or not. Thereafter, you have to verify the members' register and examination of their passbook if they have taken any loans, deposits, etc. Read. Oh, yeah, there is a reason for certification of bad debts by auditor because that right has been given to the auditor to certify as bad debts. Because many number of times what happens is that the managing committee themselves do the frauds. So ultimately, they only take the money and they only don't give back, even if they are in a position to give back. So ultimately, auditor has to intervene and check whether it is actually a result of some fraud by the managing committee. So ultimately, managing committee, what they do, they give loan to anybody as a third party, but that third party is themselves only. Hence, ultimately, auditor has been given the right that only you can tell it is a bad debt, nobody else. Come on, yeah. Can I say very manageable? Hmm. Next, see what we have. Special report to the register. This is important. In the examination, this is an expected question. Yeah. By the way, who will report? Auditor. To whom? Register. Register means rocks. Now, when will he do a special report? When he finds something which is wrong, no? Supposing if I tell you there is personal profiteering by the managing committee. Supposing ultimately managing committee is taking the money to incur on a certain function, and out of that ultimately some money they are taking in their pocket. Can I say it's a fraud? Ultimately, I hope as we are giving maintenance and they have to transfer to reserve fund. But ultimately, I hope as they are transferring to the reserve fund, they are showing in the books of accounts. But some of the fund is going in their pocket. Then ultimately, can I say it is a fraud? Ultimately, I hope can I say decisions taken by the managing committee are not in accordance with the bylaws. Can I say they are? Then ultimately that is wrong, no? Like for example, in the cooperative society, if there is parking space which is available, then ultimately that is just space available. That is not actual parking space available, but they are selling it, which is not allowed also in the Cooperative Societies Act. Then is it allowed? No. Then ultimately, if you as an auditor find such things which are contrary to the laws and the bylaws, then you'll have to report it to the registrar. Then see, what is the first thing? Personal profiteering by the members of the managing committee, which are ultimately detrimental to the society. Next is detection and any fraud with respect to expenses, purchases, property, stores. It may happen, no, they may take money, but they will always buy something which is prices are not reasonable for. For a simple example, ultimately, if something cost 100, but they may show there a bill of 150. So 50 rupees will go in their pocket, no? We have to already done. Acha. And lastly, specific examples of mismanagement, decisions taken by management against the cooperative principles. Personal profiteering, they are taking the money. Sometimes what also happens is whatever things the cooperative society wants, they want to buy. There may be a member who is dealing in that particular thing itself. Supposing, say, we want to buy chairs. Now, ultimately, the member of the managing committee is selling chairs. Now, ultimately, I hope he may sell the chairs to the cooperative society at a very high rate. Then ultimately it is personal profiteering. No, he should not do that for the cooperative society. No, come on, yaar. Can I say very manageable? So, how many things will you report to the registrar? Three. One, personal profiteering. Second, detection of any fraud with respect to expenses, purchases, property, stores, anything. And lastly, specific examples of any mismanagement and decisions taken against the principles. All cool? All cool. Expected in the examination for somewhere around, yeah, 4 marks. Hmm. Thereafter, read to this audit classification of the society and discussion of draft audit report with the managing committee. Draft audit report means you have to tell to the secretary of the society that this is what ultimately is the report. See, everything is proper or not. Come on, yeah, manageable, yeah. Hmm. Okay. Thereafter, we have auditor's report, the last part of nothing but cooperative society. Now, the auditor's report obviously has to be submitted to two. One, correct, to the rocks. Second, to the members of the society. Now, the form of audit report, which is submitted by the auditor, contains a number of matters on which the auditor has to state or comment upon. Now, he has to comment upon what further these points one by one. Firstly, all the transactions appear contrary to the provisions of the rules and the bylaws. It means, are they in line with the bylaws? No. Are they against the bylaws? Yes. Then ultimately, I will have to bring out that in my report, no, that the cooperative society is not following the bylaws. Secondly, all the sums, that is money basically, which ought to have been not brought into the account by the society. It means ultimately, I hope realize the money has been received, but it has not been going to the society, going somewhere else only. So ultimately, can I say it seems to be a manipulation? Next, any material or property belonging to the society which appears to the auditor to be bad of nothing but recovery. So ultimately, I hope realize say you give anybody any money, loan, or any property of the society, but that is not going to come back. Then ultimately, can I say it is bad debts? Then that also has to be reported. Next, any material irregularity or impropriety in expenditure and the realization of the monies due to the society. Now, what do you mean by irregularity or impropriety? You remember propriety audit? We had done this chapter only. Correct. Expenditure should not be incurred more than the occasion demands. Prudence, conservatism. But say here, conservatism is not followed only. 10,000 is the expenditure which was required. They have done 40,000. Use common sense. Is it propriety? No. Is it impropriety? Yes. Is it regular? No. Is it irregular? Yes. Will the auditor report? Yes. Now do you understand? And lastly, any other matter specified by the registrar. So if the registrar wants me to check any other thing, then he should specify, check this thing, then I'll report on that as well. Come on, yaar. All cool? Okay, wait. What all points were there? One by one, let's brush up. Firstly, I hope as most important, if you ask me, is qualification. What is the qualification of an auditor of a cooperative society? Only a chartered accountant. No. Acha, a chartered accountant, but any other person who is holding a government diploma in cooperative accounts or anybody who has worked as an auditor in the cooperative department of the government. Acha, who will appoint the auditor? Correct. Can I say rocks? Acha. Thereafter, the auditor will have to do audit on his behalf and he will submit the report only to the rocks. No. Will he give to the society also? Yes. Do the society have to maintain the books of accounts? Yes. Do they have to follow the laws and regulations? Yes. Is there restriction on the shareholding in the society? Yes. How much? It is maximum 20% of the total shares or 1,000 correct amount. Rupees 1,000. Be careful. Thereafter, restriction on the loans. Can I say ultimately the cooperative society can give the loans to nothing but the members only? However, if they want to give to some other society, then correct, they will have to take a sanction from the registrar. Thereafter, restriction on the borrowings. Can I say same? Acha. Thereafter, investment. Can I say you have to invest in nothing but the funds which are specified? Now, ultimately, I hope as you invest in the cooperative banks, you invest in nothing but the securities which are mentioned in the Indian Trust Act 1882, etc. Thereafter, reserve fund. Can I say a certain amount of the profits have to be transferred to the reserve fund before you can divide the profits to nothing but the members? Thereafter, ultimately, you also have to give something but certain money for charitable purposes, which is maximum 10% of the profit which is remaining after the transfer to the reserve funds. Okay. Thereafter, there are certain special features, very simple. Ultimately, if there is any debt which has become overdue, then it has to be classified. Classified into two categories. Firstly, the debts which are nothing but overdue for more than 6 months but less than 5 years. And secondly, the debts which are more than 5 years. Next, if there is any overdue interest, that also has to be nothing but shown separately. It should not be shown together with the interest which has been accrued by the company. Then is cooperative society. Thereafter, certification of bad debts. Only the auditor can do certification of bad debts. Valuation of the assets and liability should be done properly. Adherence to the cooperative principles should be followed by the members. Thereafter, observation of the provisions of nothing but the act and the rules. And lastly, the verification of the members and their passbook. If they have taken some loan, whether they have repaid or not, and vice versa. Thereafter, ultimately, special report to the registrar. Ultimately, I hope you'll have to report three things. If there is any personal profiteering which is happening by the Correct. Managing committee. Then ultimately that has to be brought to the notice of the registrar. Secondly, if at all there is any detection of the fraud with respect to any purchases, expenses, etc., that has to be brought to the attention of nothing but the registrar. And lastly, any examples of mismanagement by the managing committee and the decisions taken by the management which are against the cooperative society. Thereafter, classification of the society. That class you don't have to understand. It has to be awarded which class. Okay, it's like ABC analysis. We don't have to know that analysis. You just have to understand audit classification has to be done of the society. Thereafter, discussion of the draft with the managing committee. So whatever auditor's report you people are planning to give, you have to discuss that draft with nothing but the managing committee, basically the secretary, that this is what I intend to give. And thereafter, auditor's report, the auditor has to have certain special matters like transactions, ultimately, if at all they appear to contrary. Secondly, the sums which ought to have been not brought into the society, which should have been brought in the first place. Thereafter, any monies or property which ultimately have become bad, they will not come back. Any irregularity or impropriety of any expenses which have happened, and any other matter told by the registrar. All cools? All cools. Okay. Now, once you have done audit of a cooperative society, now we do, correct, audit of a multi-state cooperative society. Now, multi-state cooperative society is given under the Multi-State Cooperatives Act 2002. Okay. Here also, most important is qualification. Acha, here qualification is other things also, no? Oh, no. Acha, acha. Okay, okay. Sorry. So here it is only chartered accountant. Acha, acha, acha. Then see, section 72 of the MSCS Act, in short, MSCS, Multi-State Cooperative Society, okay, states that a person who is a chartered accountant within the meaning of the Chartered Accountant Acts can only be appointed as an auditor of the Multi-State Cooperative Society. See, this they can ask you as nothing but correct, incorrect. They can ask you as nothing but MCQs, and ultimately this they can ask you for cooperative society as well as multi-state cooperative society. So you'll have to be careful as well for cooperative society. Here it is still okay. By the way, there are disqualifications also. Now, what are the disqualifications? Have a look. Must there. The following persons are not eligible for appointment as auditors of a MSCS. Firstly, a body corporate. Second, officer or employee. Acha, a person who is a member who is in employment of a officer or employee. Correct. So employee of the officer or employee. Correct. Same. A person who is indebted to the multi-state cooperative society or who has given a guarantee or a security. Hey, this also, yeah, one, hey, this is same, yeah, like company audit. Can I say 141.3? But all of them are not there. Oi, correct. I hope your securities is not there. There was SIG, no? 141.3D was SIG, SIG, securities indebted guarantor. Your securities is not there. First is same, second is same, third is same, fourth is not exactly the same. Here it is indebted, but have a look at amount. Indebted for how much? Amount exceeding 1,000. Huh. If you remember, their indebtedness was more than 1 lakh. Oh, 5 lakhs. Oh, sorry. Guarantor was more than 5 lakhs. Acha, that was more than 1 lakh. Oh, okay. No, I think I have to revise. What revise? Arey, bloody, I'm telling. Oh, so rude, yeah. Don't talk to me, yeah. Can I say very manageable, yeah? Acha, by the way, you can attract disqualification only at the time of appointment, no? Or it can also be after appointment. Oh, it can also become after. Correct. So you have to be qualified throughout, not disqualified throughout. So see, if the auditor subject after his appointment, okay, to any of the disqualifications specified above, he shall be deemed to have vacated the office. Can I say vacated means it will become casual vacancy? Not bad, yeah. You know, quite a lot of company audit. Acha. Now, appointment. Appointment is also very simple. Same as company audit only. Check. Section 70 of the MSCS Act, the first auditor. Pehla. Auditor re. The first auditor of a cooperative society will be appointed by the BOD. See, if you remember, there also first auditor BOD within 30 days from the date of incorporation or registration, meaning is one and the same. Oh, hello. Here also it is BOD, but within 1 month. Again, from the date of registration. And he shall hold the office till the first AGM. Just like the first auditor, there it was, non-government company. Come on, yeah. But what if the BOD fails? Then the members will have to appoint. Just like there also BOD failed, shareholders appointed. So see, here also, if the BOD fails, then ultimately the MSCS in a general meeting will appoint the first auditor. Acha, subsequent auditor who appointed there? Udhar subsequent auditor, shareholders appointed in the AGM. And the term, if you remember, was basically that 6th AGM, 5 AGMs, no, I told you. Here, subsequent auditor, again, appointed by MSCS, members only, at each AGM, and you shall hold the office only till the next AGM, 1 year. So simple. Come on, who will appoint the first auditor of a MSCS? BOD. Within how much? 1 month from the date of incorporation or registration. Correct. Thereafter, will hold the office till first AGM. Subsequent auditor. Acha, what if the BOD fails, by the way? Then members will appoint, shareholders. Acha. Thereafter, what if subsequent auditor? Acha, the MSCS only will appoint. Acha, acha. Thereafter, will continue till 5 AGMs? No. Can I say only till the next AGM? Correct. All cool? Okay. This is normally not asked. What is asked is qualification again. But yeah, since the points are there, we have to do now. What else can I do? Acha. Thereafter, we have rights and duties. This also, let me see how much. See, Section 73 of the MSCS Act discusses the powers and the duties of the auditor. According to this, every auditor of a multi-state cooperative society shall have a right of access to all times the books of accounts and vouchers of the company. Can I say air gives life, basically? Acha. Thereafter, as per Section 73(2), he shall make the following inquiries. First, whether the loans and advances given by the multi-state cooperative societies have been properly secured or not. Okay. Whether the transactions represented by mere book entries are prejudicial or not. Okay. Whether the personal expenses have been charged to revenue or not. Okay. Whether the shares have been allotted for cash or not. Okay. What is this, yeah? Correct. Can I say it is love to dil se? Come on, yeah. We have already done no audit inquiry 143.1. Can I say it is same love to dil se, yeah? Or have you changed the places, yeah? Not doing from the heart anymore. Now come on, tell me. Can I say first point is same, loans and advances? No, no. Can I say T, transactions? Same. Acha, D, deposits. This is not there. I, investments. This is not there. Huh. This is there. It looks as, yeah, business expense, but it can be personal. And lastly, say shares allotted for cash. So can I say entire love for dil se is, love to dil se is not there. Sif D and I is not there. Apart from that, same. See? Can I say MSCS is very simple? Cooperative society also was simple, yeah. Just they had some points to check. Else it is, trust me, nothing great about it. Come on, Yadanya. Okay. Next, power of the central government to do direct special audit. This is important. Expected in the examination for 4 to 5 marks. When can the central government direct a special audit of a multi-state cooperative society? See, when do you think central government will do special audit? Special audit means obviously an audit other than the normal audit. Correct. When they see something wrong, no? Supposing when ultimately they are being managed properly or mismanaged. When ultimately I hope realize they are following all the principles or not following. When they are solvent enough or it endangers solvency. So it may become insolvent. Or ultimately the central government has some information and ultimately they want to do themselves on their order. So can they do? Yes. Then have a look. Firstly, the affairs of the MSCS are not being managed according to prudent commercial practices or sound business principles. Second, the multi-state cooperative society is managed in a manner which is likely to cause serious injury or damage to the interest or to the trade industry or the business to which it pertains. In other words, they are not managed properly. But these are the words that we have to use. Thereafter, the financial position is such to endanger its solvency. In other words, it may go into insolvency. There's no money at all remaining. And lastly, the central government may at any time direct whenever they want to. But this special audit has to be done either by a chartered accountant or the auditor who himself is there of the multi-state cooperative society. Wait, it means can the central government direct the statutory auditor himself to do special audit? Yes. But is it necessary they will tell me only? No. Can they appoint some other chartered accountant to do special audit? Yes. Now do you understand? Just like I don't know how many of you remember, uh, when I started with this chapter, there was audit of a government company. If you remember, auditor of a government company was appointed by the CAG of India. Correct? Now, say I'm the statutory auditor. I have to submit the report to the CAG. Then ultimately, CAG can conduct supplementary audit, no? Either himself or authorized person. Here also, ultimately, the statutory auditor can conduct special audit or by any authorized person. But that authorized person has to be chartered accountant. And who will authorize? Central government. All cool? Okay. And see, lastly, you cannot conduct special audit like that only. You can conduct a special audit only if you are a major shareholder in the cooperative society. Have a look. The central government shall order for a special audit only if that government or the state government, either by itself or both, hold 51% or more of the paid up share capital in the MSCS. See, the words, you know, they are very simple here. If you learn, they actually come on your tongue very nicely. Words are not that difficult actually. You just have to nothing but read it many number of times. Trust me, you will learn. Firstly, I hope guys, when you talk about affairs, that is the first part. Okay. Modi, yaar. Why you are looking at me? I don't know. I have no clue, boss. अच्छा. कुछ नहीं होगा, कुछ नहीं होगा. Don't. Already done, yeah. Karina is like doing like this, it seems. Acha, listen to what I was telling you, I forgot. Yeah, firstly, the affairs are not being managed properly. So they are not sound business principles or prudent commercial practices. Then mismanaged. So they are managed that they will cause injury to nothing but the industry or the business. Okay. Then ultimately, I hope it is the financial position, endangers solvency. And lastly, if the central government wants to direct themselves. So 4 parts. Affairs, no sound principles, business practices, no. Then the business that ultimately it will cause serious injury or damage. And lastly, solvency. Central government on its own is too simple. All cool? Okay. Thereafter, inquiry by the central registrar. Now, when I say inquiry by the central registrar, if a member or say a creditor of a MSCS, creditor means anybody who has financial interest in the MSCS, if they have a doubt regarding MSCS functioning, they have a doubt that there is a manipulation in MSCS, then they can request the registrar to conduct an inquiry that ultimately we people feel that the accounts of the MSCS are manipulated. So please you conduct an inquiry. Who is telling to whom? The creditor or anybody who has financial interest. Members also can do it, but one member can't. Majority. That I'll tell you shortly. As of now, understand that inquiry means what? If at all there is any doubt regarding the functioning of the MSCS, then you may request the central registrar to conduct an inquiry. Now do you understand? Okay, have a look. The central registrar may, on a request from whom? A federal cooperative to which MSCS is affiliated. You understand affiliated? Correct. Now, apart from that, वो इतना क्यों hurt ऐसा? हाँ? I know. Thereafter, a creditor, not less than 1/3 of the members of the board, and not less than 1/5 of the total number of members of the MSCS. Okay, so affiliated society, creditor, 1/3 members of the board, or 1/5 of the total members of the MSCS. What they can do is they can hold an inquiry or direct some person authorized by him by order in writing to hold an inquiry into the constitutions, working, and financial condition of the MSCS. Yeah, yeah. Then see, the central registrar shall authorize a person to conduct such inquiry that we saw in the first para also before this. Thereafter, central registrar shall within a period of 3 months from the date of the receipt of the report. It means inquiry is done, report is got. Then the central registrar will act on that report. No, to act on that report, how many months are given? 3 months. Communicate the report of the inquiry to the MSCS. Financial institutions, if any, to which the society is affiliated, and to the person or the authority, if any, at whose instance inquiry is needed. So supposing creditor told to the registrar that registrar, please do the inquiry, no. Then ultimately say inquiry was done. Once the inquiry was done, thereafter the report was obtained. Once the report was obtained, within 3 months of that report, the central registrar will give this report to whom? To that creditor, no. That ultimately, see creditor, you told now, then ultimately we have done this inquiry, this is the report. Now do you understand? Okay, wait. Finished. Done, done. Thanks for coming. MSCS. Firstly, when you people talk about the qualification of the auditor of a multi-state cooperative society, it can be a chartered accountant or any other person who is a cooperative diploma holder in. Acha, nahi hai. Acha, only, okay, okay. Acha, only a chart. Okay, okay, fair enough. I was just asking, yeah. I'm revising, yeah. Acha, disqualifications are same as company audit, all of them. Are you mad? Are you mad? Can I give only the first four clauses are there? In that also, I hope S is not there. Correct. So ultimately, can I say body corporate, officer or employee, partner or employee of the officer or employee, or any person who is indebted or guarantor greater than how much? 1000. Be careful. Acha, and you can be qualified only at the time of appointment. No, yeah. Can you be after appointment also? Go throughout it seems. Acha, thereafter appointment, who will appoint the first auditor of the MSCS? You. Look at you. No. Can I say it will be the BOD? Acha. Thereafter, within 1 month of the registration. Acha, if the BOD fails, MSCS, and will hold the office till first AGM. Acha. Thereafter, subsequent auditor, who? MSCS. Acha. And will hold the office till the next AGM. 1 year. Correct. Not bad. Acha. Rights and duties. Ultimately, I hope love to dil se only. Rights and duties, rights is same. Air gives life basically. Can I say love to dil se? Inquiry. In that love to dil se, two things are not there. D and I. Apart from that, can I say everything is same only? Come on, yeah. Acha. Power of the central government. This is important. I told you how to remember. Firstly, you remember affairs. They are not as per the prudent commercial practices or sound business principles. Then ultimately, I hope realize they are managed in a manner which is likely to cause injury. Injury to the trade industry or the business to which it pertains. Thereafter, it endangers solvency. So this is insolvency. And lastly, CG at any time, whatever they want, they can order the special audit. Dania. Okay. Thereafter, inquiry by Array Yar. If there is any federal society which is affiliated, or there is a creditor, or there is nothing but members of the board 1/3, or there is 1/5 of nothing but the members of the total members, they can nothing but conduct an inquiry. They can request the central registrar to conduct an inquiry. Central registrar will then appoint an authorized person to do the inquiry. Once the inquiry is done, within a period of 3 months of that inquiry, the report is obtained and has to be given to the society or to the person whosoever ultimately told that do inquiry. Thereafter, done. Can I say next is audit of LLP? Homework. Wait, come here. Can I say society, cooperative society? Both of them done. Come on, yeah. Acha. Now, audit of LLP, yourself. And there is one more. Audit of a club. That also I've kept for you. Why? Because it's a club, no? Where do you have to think much in that? Yeah. Come on, yeah. Club. You've been to a night club, nahi. Club. Did I specify which time the club I'm talking about? Night club, it seems, yeah. Why are you like this, yeah? Because of me? Because of me? You're so rude. You are like this because of me? Oh my god. Because of me, it seems. I felt hurt and nice at the same point of time. You know that feeling? You feel hurt and nice at the same time. Like ultimately, you are in a relationship, you are so much tired, and now there is breakup, you feel nice and hurt at same point of time. Oh, experienced. Oh, someone is not looking at me now. Oh, now they are. Oh, they are back. I know. Come, acha. So ultimately, this is homework and this is homework. LLP and club. Wait, come to the textbook. Come to the beginning, please. What this cooperative society was time pass, yeah. Oh my god, this chapter is going on and on. It is not coming to an end. Don't worry, it has come here. Can I say government audit we have already done, yeah? Notebooks. Can I say CAG provisions we have done, yeah? Appointed by whom? Removal by whom? Correct. Members of the parliament on two bases. Hello. Correct. POI. Exactly. Thereafter, can I say powers of the CAG? Done. Direct supervise. 143.6 also done. Conduct supplementary audit, etc. Can I say propriety audit? Done. Can I say performance audit? Done. Remember, it includes three E's: economy, efficiency, effectiveness. See, same thing. Don't worry. We have already written. Audit of stores and stocks? Done. Audit of local bodies? Done. Are yes, day before yesterday we met, no? Yeah. Objectives of local bodies. That only will come. Can I say audit of education institution? Done. Incomes, expenses, assets, liabilities, we did know. Audit of hospitals. Hello, nurse, you were telling. Done. Nurse, it seems. So shameless here you are. Thereafter, audit of a cinema hall. You know, they are called sisters. Arey, what you are looking at me like that, yeah? Arey, you told like that, yeah? I did not even specify something like this, yeah? Don't look at me. I'm not talking to you. So rude. I did not even specify anything, yeah. Chumma, you're blaming me, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Next. Arey, Fokat, yeah. Fokat Badnam. Thereafter, audit of hotels. Come. Arey, no, yeah. Hotel also done. You remember that hotel, not only to eat, but to go and stay also. Yeah, that type of hotels. Oh, yo, it seems you cheap. Acha, audit of a club. See, this is homework for you. By the way, audit of a club also answer like us only. General points, incomes, expenses, asset liability. Club also what will be there? Membership fees will be there. Food and beverages, canteen will be there. Exactly. Some functions will be there. Just check all of that. Do yourself. Hmm. Thereafter, NGO. Can I say done? Okay. Thereafter, go down. Can I say oh my god, cooperative society. Cooperative society members don't know as much as you know about cooperative society. Acha. Thereafter, multi-state cooperative society. Enough. Similar to company audit though. A bit. Thereafter, LLP. Oh, go down. Oh, hire purchase. Done. Leasing. Done. Oops. Can I say with this? Too much is done. Yeah. How come? Ah, yeah, yeah. You write like that only. Spa, salon spa. Yeah, write that also. So can I say with this, we can definitely say chapter number 13 is done. Arey, what by? Relax, yeah. I want to do one standard and then we'll go, yeah. You want, you can relax for 5 minutes. I can give you, it's okay. Relaxation I can give you. Arey, some people went, arey, wait. At least wait for me to make an official announcement, yeah. So, why are you so desperate, yeah? And you are telling, no, no, we are not desperate. See, that is how you are desperate in life. Relax for 15 minutes, it seems, yeah. 5 minutes is okay, yeah. I'll take 20 minutes for 710. Exactly 110, I'll finish. Jokes for 5 minutes. What? What? Arey, go. See, you understood, no? No. Jokes are mandatory. Go. 5 minutes. We'll meet at 12:50. Go. Come back.